All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Let's go back on over to that leagues and sponsors. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Let's go back on over to that leagues and sponsors. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Let's go back on over to that leagues and sponsors. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? Let's go back on over to that leagues and sponsors. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? Let's go back on over to the leagues and sponsors.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, you done?
Yeah.
All right, so we all went back into the Zoom meeting finalists. Is that where you wanted us?
No, you just leave the meeting room and it takes you to the main room.
Oh, just leave the meeting room. Okay, so right now we're just kind of talking. So I'll tell them that
The finalists can stay there for a couple more minutes.
it doesn't, when it says, oh, leave room. Okay, got it. That's all better when to do. And then one last question. On the spreadsheet, we had a question. When do you want us to go into the judge's room? Is it right after the finalist interview 4 or after you connect with Vortex with Nick?
So you guys all jump in. Nick is the only one that'll stay back.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell him that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, later.
Bye.
Okay, so I touched base with Jared. I have a clarifier. Remember we were asking, when do we go into the judges?
Hey, Pete, we are live right now. Everybody can hear you live.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can tell them when we go into the judges.
No, you're good. You got
Okay.
2 minutes.
Oh, you mean don't give away any of my hunting secrets?
There you go. Don't tell Weston that honey hole you've been.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah.
judges, after we finish with the finalist interview number 4, all of us will go into the judges breakout room, except for Nick. Nick will stay with Jared and then catch up with us when he's done.
Sounds good.
Yeah, my video is about 6 minutes there during that window, and then we got a handful of like league guys that are going to jump in. So you probably have 8 to 10 minutes, which is not much time. So make your notes while they're doing their interviews, and then you guys will jump in, make those decisions, come back when we're done. I'll be back on screen, and we'll go from there.
I'm already getting harassed by one of your sponsors.
Well, Jared, this is exciting. So we're live right now. So those that are on the app can see this right now.
Yeah, anybody that's on YouTube or Facebook, we're on.
Well, I'd like to
Wow.
tell everybody on YouTube and Facebook that, again, I am Weston Clark, not identifying as my wife, Jody Clark. There. So since ran downstairs from doing a show and up here to the hotel room in Las Vegas, Nevada at the World Archery Shoot. Didn't have time to change it, but we're excited to join.
I love it. It's all right if you guys got married. You're one, so it's okay if
We're one, baby.
yeah, you take on her name for a bit.
Yeah, she's my jelly.
Weston, I wouldn't apologize too much either. I mean, probably like the rest of us, our wives are much better looking to look at. So.
I guarantee it. Oh.
All right, guys, here we go. It's real.
This is it.
Live, baby. No do-over.
Doing it live.
No, it's scary stuff.
Hey, AJ, could you just keep talking so we can keep your face on the screen with those mounts in the back? Because those.
Yeah, that's serious, man. That's
All right, guys, we are live.
For you.
Welcome officially to the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. Tonight, we've got an incredible night. We've got a judges panel made up of AJ from Velvet Antler Technologies, Peter Mosby, who's the 2020 champion, Weston Clark, Brave Experience, Nick Bluff from Vortex Optics, and Daniel Housley from Phoenix Store. So those are our judges panel tonight. Guys, we're super excited. We have 4 finalists. 2021, we had several users in the app put up incredible seasons. We had 12 candidates. You guys helped narrow those 12. We were supposed to get to 3, but had a hard time getting to 3. We ended up with 4 finalists. Tonight, we're going to do a live interview with each of those finalists before making the decision on the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. So I just want to welcome anybody that's watching on YouTube, Facebook Live. Thanks for being a part of the HuntLeague community. We're excited that you're here with us. Here's what I want to start. I want to start with each of you judges, and I want you to answer this question before we bring the finalists on. What are you looking for from each of these finalists? What does it mean to you to be the Outdoorsman of the Year? What, what are you looking for in the interviews? You've already seen their applications. You've already seen, you've listened to a podcast where they've told their stories. You've been able to look at their stories throughout the app. You've seen where they rank on the leaderboard. You have a lot of different data pieces, but at the end of the day, it's not just about the data and the stuff that they've logged and where the scoreboard says. We're looking for something special. So I want you guys as our judges to kind of identify what is it that you're looking for as you make your decision as to who the Outdoorsman of the Year will be for HuntLeague. So AJ, I'm going to kick it to you first. Go ahead and take the lead.
All right. Thanks, guys, for having me here. I'm super honored to be a part of this. And I will first say that every single person that we're going to be talking to tonight is deserving of this prize. Everyone did an amazing job. But what I think I'm looking for after hearing the podcast, seeing the photos, going through the HuntLeague app over and over, trying to rank my personal, thoughts on where people fall based on some certain metrics, I would say what I'm most eager and excited to hear is the story and the passion. It doesn't matter to me if you killed 100 things or 10 things. It's about the experience. Who did you do it with? What did you walk away from this season that makes you feel accomplished?
That's great. Peter Mosby, 2020 champion. Take it away.
Well, I don't know. AJ did a really nice job there. I do feel honored to be with such distinguished judges. I'm just lucky to be here because I won last year. So I'm really excited because now I'm on this side of the fence where I was on the other side as one of the contestants or one of the finalists, I should say. So, but each of us are going to be kind of like listening or looking or triggered to different things that each of the candidates are going to share. Personally, I'm going to be looking for someone that, yes, that passion for the outdoors, but also that person that not only is connected with the outdoors, but is sharing it. Sharing it with, could be his wife, could be his kids, could be somebody else's kids, through conservation, who knows? But that's what I'm going to be looking for. So thanks for having me.
No, that's great. I think a big part of why we built the HuntLeague app was to be able to capture stories so that you can share those stories with others. I mean, going all the way back to ancient cave paintings to drawing in journals, and passing down hunting stories has been a part of human history since the very beginning. And I think it's a critical component as an outdoorsman to be able to share those experiences with others and help bring other people up in the great sport that we all get to enjoy. So, Weston, what are you looking for in the Outdoorsman of the Year this year?
Number one, it is an honor to be on this panel and the judges and to be in part of the community that I love. And, for 39 years being an outfitter and being part of the hunting community, it's a blessing. And we do live in the greatest nation on earth. Look what we're getting ready to do here, and doing it in the freedoms that we have. And as we do this tonight, we got to remember that there's sons and daughters of America in harm's way fighting for our freedom, so that we can do what we're doing here. And so I'm looking for that candidate that just really has, as has been said, that passion, but that passion to pay it forward, that passion to bring others alongside in the sport that we all love, that we all fight for, to make sure that our children's children have this to be able to enjoy, to be able to have the stories that they can share with their kids and be able to, we all that in the panel that we have here, we've all elk hunted here, and that's my spirit animal. That's my, that's my passion, but to be able to, to recall, hey, when that bull was just at 28 yards, he had one more step to go, and that wind hit me in the back of the neck, but he was a 6x7 bull. I mean, those kind of stories that put you in counseling for the rest of the year, and, but really looking for that well-rounded candidate that is all about community, the hunt community, paying it forward, and the total experience, not the size of the animal that they harvested, but what is the total experience? And I want to hear that tonight. So it's an honor.
That's good. Let's see who's next. Nick, go ahead.
Well, it's tough to follow all those guys. They have great words, and I wish they could all speak for me. But again, I'm honored to be here too, to be able to be a part of this community. I just posted my first HuntLeague, and it was kind of exciting getting all the thumbs up and all the fist pumps. So it's a good deal being a part of this. I think just Jared said a few weeks ago, as the application started coming in, that it's not going to be an easy year. And once I started reading those applications, and I think all the other judges here can say the same, it is not easy. I think I read 3 times a piece each application, and I still had a tough time ranking everybody against each other. But I feel that the top 4 that are here right now are good candidates for the top 4, and the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. But basically what I'm looking for is, what did you bring to the community to keep the spirit alive, to keep the hunting alive? What did you learn as far as, in the field, what mistakes you made, what made you better? What obstacles you had to go through to be able to have the success that you had this past year, and just how did you adapt and overcome those obstacles? So that well-rounded outdoorsman, not necessarily 1,000 kills or 1 kill. It's just, what did you learn and what did you bring back to the community? So I think that's what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Daniel, let's hear from you. What are you looking for this year?
Man, I feel like a fish out of water here a little bit. All you guys live in the woods, and I wish I could spend half the amount of time out there that you guys do. But I grew up loving it, and I'm just honored to be a part of this panel of judges and going through these applications. Like everyone before said, I mean, all of these applicants were really just embodied what I think the outdoorsman should be. And so it's going to be a tough decision, but I hate to repeat, but everyone said it so well, really just how they are, they're not just hunting for themselves, but they're trying to spread what a proud outdoorsman is. And we're living in a day and age where a lot of times we get flack for hunting and fishing. And I think that all of these guys clearly do it with integrity, but what are they doing to uphold that, what a true outdoorsman is, and how they're making a good name for what hunters are. And also to hear what obstacles they've overcome. And it's not always a walk in the park, but how do they press through those obstacles and still finish up the year? And that's kind of what I'd like to hear from each of them.
Yeah. Well, here's something that I kind of found interesting was last year when we did this competition, we had I'm going to add everybody into the mix now. Last year when we did this, our 3 finalists were all probably in their 40s, if not 50s, maybe Wolfgang. I don't know where he is. He might have been in his 30s. And they were all accomplished hunters. What's really unique to me, and I wonder if this may even be the future of HuntLeague, is we got a lot of younger guys in the mix this year, guys that logged a whole lot of hunts. We had 2 teenagers. Now, Wyatt actually turned 20 this past week. So when he competed last year, he was a 19-year-old. We have the youngest ever finalist with Josiah, who is 16, and he put up more hunts than anybody would ever imagine. He hunted over 119 days. Now, a lot of it is on his farm and walking outside with a 22 chasing squirrels, rabbits, grouse, anything he could chase, deer. He had all of it right there. But I think what I saw this year is like we have our oldest one is this grandpa over here with Garrett Weaver, who is he's sitting at 32 years old. And it's like some guys don't even start hunting until they're in their 30s. So I'm excited because last year we got to hear from a lot of relatively mature hunters that have been in the field for a long time. This year we've got a lot of young guys. Crayson, I believe, is 27. And Crayson, Garrett, Josiah, Wyatt, all of you guys put up an incredible year. We have 2 of our finalists are coming from Wisconsin and 2 from Oregon. So Crayson, go ahead and wave your hand so people can see who you are, Crayson. So there's Crayson, and Garrett are my Oregon boys. And Wyatt and Josiah down there, you guys are straight from the woods of Wisconsin, Eau Claire area. So here's what I want to do. We don't know who's going to go first yet in these interviews, but I'm going to ask each of you finalists to give me a number between 1 and 10, and you cannot repeat somebody else's number. Wyatt, no, not Wyatt, Crayson, since you're first on my screen, you can go ahead and unmute. You're number 4. You're saying 4, Crayson?
Yeah. 4.
All right, Garrett, you're next on the screen. What's your number? Garrett's going 5. Wyatt Bowe, I need a number.
6.
6. Josiah, I need a number.
I'll take 2.
Josiah,
Knew
you're
it.
up first. It's just in ascending order. So it's going to go 2, 4, 5, and then 6. That was really easy. So you guys pretty much picked your order. So Josiah is the youngest finalist in HuntLeague history. We're bringing you on. All right, you other finalists, go ahead and jump over to the finalist meeting room. We'll see you guys back in just a minute. Crayson, you'll be up next, followed by Garrett. Wyatt, you're going to close us out tonight. So, Josiah, welcome
Yes.
to the finalist interview. I'm going to turn these guys over. I'm looking at my clock. It's about 7:14 right now. We're going to give each of you about a 10 to 12 minute window. So, judges, go ahead and take it away. I'm going to let you guys lead. Pete, you are muted. So you're trying to speak, but you're muted.
There you go. Sorry about that. So Josiah, we're so excited to meet you in person. All of us judges, like, Nick already said, we feel like we already know you just through the HuntLeague, the app, as well as your application and the podcast. So now's our chance to find out a little bit more about you. We have a couple questions that we'd like to ask. I'll go ahead and start. Could you tell us what made this season extraordinary for you and why?
I would say one of the main things for me was being able to get out in the woods so much. And honestly, I would say I had a very successful season. I got out quite a bit, and that was a ton of fun. I also got to take Isaac, I'm sure you guys know from the hunt logs, got to take him out hunting, which was an absolute blast for sure. And then another guy from the farm we took out hunting. I had a great year duck hunting, deer hunting. I mean, I did quite a bit of stuff this year and just had fun.
All right. Well, thank you. Who'd like to take the next one?
Josiah, I'll take the next question. My next question is, did you encounter anything difficult this year that kind of put you off your game a little bit? And how did you overcome that?
I would say probably the most difficult. I don't know how if this is exactly what you're wanting, but just giving up, just the want to give up. I mean, I got over 70 deer hunts. I think it was over 70 deer hunts this year. And I was after 4 bucks and I saw 3 of them over those 70 hunts. And I mean, obviously, if you're not having that much what people would call success, the urge is there to give up. Basically, just honestly, HuntLeague helped with that. I mean, you got people like Crayson and Garrett. They're so supportive. And you say something about how bad your season it is, they'll turn it around like that. And they'll tell you how great your season has been. And they help you realize how you've actually had a successful season.
That's great.
I'll go next. Did you have any opportunity to mentor somebody or share in somebody else's hunt that really stood out this year?
So ones that
mentor?
stood out, I don't know if you want me to get into the story, but I would say 3 hunts for sure stand out for me. First one would be when Isaac, again, my cousin, came over and we went out duck hunting that morning and shot bunch of ducks. And we also took one of my coworkers from down at the farm, Jake, along, and he was able to harvest his very first duck along with Isaac. He harvested his very first 3 ducks. So that was a lot of fun. And then I was supposed to mentor someone turkey hunting, but that unfortunately didn't work out. But I would say the duck hunting, and then that evening after the duck hunt was when we had the deer hunt. I don't know if all of you guys listen to the podcast, but that was probably one of my highlights of this year.
Very cool.
I'll jump in here. Josiah, congratulations on making it to the finals on the HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year. So I got a really important question here, okay? As a hunter, what is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yep.
That's hard.
Here,
But it's-
I'll help you on it. I'll help you on
Can I do Sitka?
it.
Or I would say that the Kuyu, what do they call it? Their Verde, I think is what it is. Their green pattern. It's my best color.
Or long blood red. So didn't mean to throw you off your game there, baby, but for all of us hunters, we love that long blood red there. You know, for again, congratulations on making it to the finals here. What was the most extraordinary moment that you had, on the multiple hunts? I mean, you've got the four bucks that you encountered there, there's hunt after hunt, but what is that one that, you're driving down the road, you're recalling the past hunts in your mind, that extraordinary moment? Can you share with all the viewers what that is?
So first of all, that is a impossible question to answer because honestly, this year was full of highlights. Trying to pick out one is really, really tough. I would say I have probably top three. The first one would have been taking Isaac out in the Mississippi with Jake. We had a great morning. We got a bunch of ducks. It was a great tent. He shot his first duck. He's always wanted to. He fell in love with duck hunting. Now he likes it more than deer hunting. So that's always cool. So that would probably be close to my number one highlight. And then taking my gobbler at 3 yards, that was pretty good. And then having encounter with, all three times I had encounters with my target bucks. That was all, those will all be highlights. Even though I didn't end up killing them, definitely be highlights.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, brother. And good luck.
Who hasn't asked a question yet? Go ahead, AJ.
Sorry, I had to get unmuted there.
Okay.
Josiah, it's great to meet you and congratulations on one hell of a season, brother. I mean, that's unreal. Some of the days in the field you were able to spend with friends and family, whether it be on your farm or public land, that's stuff that we all dream about doing, right? And you're doing it at a young age. And
most of those hunts, even though I didn't list them, they were pretty much all done with like either my brothers or something like that. So, there's a lot of camaraderie there.
Yeah, that's great. So the question I have, since these guys all stole the other ones I was going to ask, would be, did you, any of the days you were out in the field, whether it be with a friend or a coworker or a brother, did you run into any ethical dilemmas and how did you deal with that?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Not really. I couldn't, I'm trying to think here. I can't think of a single really ethical dilemma.
You didn't have a whole bunch of ducks and geese coming in before shooting light?
Well, I wasn't even tempted. It's illegal.
Good answer.
Yeah, good answer.
And part of the reason I asked that is every single one of us that's sitting on this right now has been faced with an ethical dilemma at some point, whether it's, a shot that we're unsure of what's behind it, shooting times, anything like that. So again, as an older hunter, one thing that I do, commend you on is that temptation. Don't ever let that get the best of you, and don't ever compromise what you're passionate about for Instagram or for whatever, a picture, because it will come back and hurt you in more ways than you can probably ever understand.
Yep, well said.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely keep that in mind.
All right, I'll go ahead and I'll ask you another question. Did you have when we're out hunting, I think some of the best moments, speaking for myself, actually even my friends, and I'm sure people on this panel, is when you're out there and you come across a situation that is like you learn something about yourself, where like you have a moment of reflection. Maybe you had some time away from technology, except for HuntLeague, and you're able to reflect, or you had an encounter with an animal that was just so amazing, and you have maybe an aha moment or just a happy moment do you have one that you can that comes to mind that you could share with us?
Aha moments. I would probably have to recall coyote hunting. I obviously I'm not good at it, but there were a few of them this year with call placements, wind direction, hunting with the wind, or with the wind, and definitely the call placement was probably the big one, and figuring out where the coyotes were going to come from, and then put the call here and have the wind the right direction, and then shoot them when they're going to the call. And so that was probably one of the biggest learning curves this year.
Well, let me follow up on that. Could you share with us your experience with a blue jay?
My experience with the blue jay. So a few years ago, when I was going through hunter safety, I talked to some game wardens, and they were all, I asked them, because BB guns, stuff like that, asked them what was legal to hunt with BB guns. Obviously, being a boy, you want to shoot stuff. So they listed off some stuff. And I remember blue jays, we were always told not to shoot. So after I asked him specifically about blue jays. He said, yeah, they are legal. And so I told my dad, and he was fine with us shooting blue jays. So I have been since then. And then when someone brought it up, actually Jared, I think, brought it up. I honestly don't know why no one mentioned it in the comments. I never crossed my mind. But Jared was asking me if it was legal. So I called that night, I called the game warden office down in Madison, and they were like, no, it's not legal. And I was like, that's weird. So I waited until the next morning, and I actually called my friend because I didn't believe the first guy. So I called my friend who's a game warden, and I asked him if it was legal. He's like, no, it's not. So I told him I was shooting at him, and thankfully I didn't get one. But I realized that was illegal. Yep.
So did you walk away with anything with that experience? First of all, I don't know how good blue jays eat, but did you walk away with anything? What was like a learning something from that experience?
From that experience specifically would be to check regulations every single year, even though you know them, even though you went through the what has changed section, still go through them all every single year. Make sure you know them and verify stuff you think you already know, even throughout the year.
That's good.
Was well said.
That was well said, because that's something all of us need to be reminded of. Guys, we're at our last question for Josiah, and we're going to keep this party moving. So last question, judges, what is it?
Go ahead, guys.
I think, what do you think the Outdoorsman of the Year represents? What does the title symbolize? What does it mean to you?
So that would all depend on how you define outdoorsman. I would say an outdoorsman is definitely more than someone who just hunts. Conservationists, someone who's active and, like, I don't know if you guys know about Howl for Wildlife, but active and stuff like that. Fighting against the anti-movement. And then someone who hunts, and someone who goes outside and loves the outdoors would be my definition of outdoorsman. So what the Outdoorsman of the Year would mean is who did all of that stuff that I just listed the best. And then in HuntLeague, I would say more the Outdoorsman of the Year title would also have to add in put more weight on who had the best year hunting, who had, like, I already defined successful, I think. So who had the most successful season? Even though you didn't kill stuff, you learned stuff, you had a great year, you introduced people to hunting, you helped with conservation, all that stuff defines a successful season. So I would say Outdoorsman of the Year would be who had the most successful season.
Very good. Great answer.
Well done, Josiah. Josiah, go ahead and make your way over to the finalist section. Actually, Josiah, hang tight. I gotta let you know about something. In December, we made a post and we put something in the HuntLeague app saying, hey, we're gonna do a special giveaway for 3 categories. And one of them was it was kind of like, man, who's been out there grinding? Share a story, whether it's the longest pack out, the most grueling hunt, you're sitting in a stand the longest, all of those things. And we asked people to share their stories and post something from the season. So you just told us that you logged 70 hunts for a deer and you didn't harvest one.
One thing I do want to clarify with that is a lot of people was like, oh yeah, it's only half an hour. Maybe you did 4 hunts a day. Every hunt that I went through was at least 2 to 2 hours was the least, but normally it was 3.5 to 4 hours. So,
I mean, that's unbelievable. Just the amount of time and what you learn spending that much time in the woods. So congratulations on the season that you put together. I just want to say that as a finalist, but in the midst of your posts, also seeing the struggles that you went through, we created a category for somebody that really pushed it hard and you needed to take rest. Well, I just want to announce to you, even though you're a finalist, you're also part of the other competition. You are winning a Trophy Ridge, one of their V rests that they have, one of the new V rests. So you're winning that in this moment. I'm just going to announce that. That wasn't, you were going to hear that in this segment anyway, but you can put that V rest on that bow right behind you. But their new V rest, it's kind of a replacement for their traditional whisker biscuit. It's a very cool rest that Trophy Ridge has. If you haven't seen it, go to the HuntLeague app. You can find it in a couple of leagues. You can go to their website. But you're getting a Trophy Ridge V rest, and we gave that one specifically to somebody that just laid it out all in the field. And I know you're a finalist, but whether or not you win tonight, the big prize of Outdoorsman of the Year, you're taking this prize home. And I just want to say, man, well done. You deserved it. So we'll be sending you a Trophy Ridge V rest here shortly. So congratulations, Josiah. Go ahead and jump in with the other finalists. We'll bring Wyatt over here in a second. But before we do that,
I wanted to
jump in.
I wanted to throw out a thank you to all the judges for taking time for this. I know they all took time on their schedule for this. And may the most successful outdoorsman win.
There we go.
Good luck.
Look,
Hey, Daniel, I want to have you join me for a second. I just want to have, Daniel, you're with Phoenix. You're one of the primary sponsors. You're giving away, really you're awarding somebody that's fought hard and earned it. You're giving away an 18,000 lumen light. And when you first said you're going to do this light for the winner of the Outdoorsman of the Year, I thought I was reading it wrong. I was like, what do you like? No, I mean, it's something. And I kept trying to type it in and I was like, no, that's not right. Like 18,000, that's not a real thing. So you're here with Phoenix Flashlights. I want you to we're just going to take a moment and highlight you. This is a Phoenix moment. So tell us a little bit about who you are, Daniel. Tell us about Phoenix. Tell us why Phoenix decided to jump in and support the HuntLeague community. We just want to hear that from you.
Sure. So I'm Daniel Housley. I run a store called phoenixstore.com, and we've been distributing and been a part of Phoenix Flashlights since 2005, 2006. Phoenix makes some of the best LED products on the market, and kind of our niche in distribution and retail is targeting hunters, outdoorsmen, tactical, and I've known Jared a long time, been a big fan of HuntLeague and what he's doing with it. And I think that, as important as our optics are and our firearms and our bows, every hunter, every outdoorsman needs a good flashlight. And we really stand behind what we offer. They're high quality lights, last a lifetime, great price points, and no matter what it is, whether it's an 18,000 lumen light that could be used for tracking, search and rescue, or just pocket lights or headlamps, we have a product that can fit multiple needs for every hunter out there. And so when I got to talking with Jared about doing this, I thought it was a perfect fit. Again, I would love to spend as much time in the woods as you guys are able to, and one day I'll have that chance. But it's good to be in your guys' company, and I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing.
I love it, man. thank you, Daniel, for believing in us and participating with Phoenix and supporting. I mean, you know, this is a small business and we're just getting started. I'm just really grateful for all of you guys as sponsors to say, hey, we're seeing what you're doing. We believe in it. And, you know, for Phoenix, I mean, here you are kind of shining a light on it. So thanks for shining a light on HuntLeague and inviting people to kind of participate in it. I really do appreciate having you here. And it means the world to me to have guys like you a part of the judges panel that, yeah, you know, of everybody that's on this judges panel, I knew you back in our college days. So we've actually known each other for a long time. Everybody else I have a more recent history with. So thanks for participating, jumping on. I really appreciate Phoenix being a part of it. If there's people on here that aren't familiar with Phoenix Lights, you got to go check them out. They definitely make some of the best products on the market. Josiah, who was just on here, him and all his brothers, they're big time Phoenix guys, and they're always using those lights. They carry them in their trucks. They carry them on their pockets. So you just had the first interview was with a hardcore Phoenix guy. So, all right, Crayson,
Hey,
I
how's
see
it
you
going?
on. Are you ready for your judges interview? You ready
I'm
to
so
go?
excited. Let's do it.
Okay, judges, we got to keep this night moving. Take it away. Let's move quick. We're gonna give you about 10 to 12 minutes, Crayson. So
Perfect.
here we go.
All right. I started last time. I guess I'll just keep starting it.
Go
So,
ahead.
Hey, Grayson, congratulations for being one of the finalists, first of all.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Peter.
Phenomenal season. It is so great to get to meet you in person because all of us have gotten to know you through your application and through your posts on HuntLeague. So congrats. I love the background that I'm looking at. It's a lot better than the books that I have right now. But I'm envious. It's a nice looking bull back there for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
For us elk hunters, we like that. Okay,
Appreciate
so the question I'm going to ask you, what made this season extraordinary for you and why?
I had a great season this year. Taking the biggest bull I have with my bow. I got to share half that hunt in the evening time by myself, and I stuck him with one arrow and came back the next day with my dad to help, and he was still fully chasing elk around. And just to be able to have my dad there to help me just watch me take him down. And I am a terrible storyteller, but that's why I bring a camera with me to try to capture all the hunt. And that's one of my favorite things to do. But leading into it, like this season was just so blessed, just completely blessed with my elk, with my dad. I called in a spike for him in his spike only archery tag. For my wife, I got her really into archery the last 3 years. And this year she actually had a couple opportunities to take a shot on a cow elk and a buck. But I really dive into the predator hunting and doing that kind of predator control in my area. And I love to educate people about doing that because I have had a lot of experience calling in predators and trying to catch it all on film. Self-filming is one of my biggest passions. And I finally, this year, 2022, have a cameraman guy that wants to step up, my brother-in-law, because I've been talking to him about all this hunting and he just wants to get wrapped up in it too. So this year for sure was my biggest bull I've taken with my bow. I've never actually rifle deer hunted or elk hunted. Since I was just walking, I was following dad around, and my dad and my uncle were the first ones in the family tree to pick up the bow. And that's all I've ever done is archery hunting. And that's my biggest passion for the big game. So especially just this year was absolutely blessing with that big bull and catching it all on film and everything like that. So.
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to see some of the posts that you have next year now that you're going to have a dedicated videographer.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing to capture that moment when you harvested those two cougars. I heard that on the podcast. That was unbelievable story. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to pass it off to Weston so we can get some questions in for you. Okay?
Cool.
Fantastic. Grayson, fantastic year. Congratulate you on your success and welcome to the finalist of the HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year. And it's good to see those heads back there on those skull hooker mounts.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Elk's my passion. So I'm going to switch it up here a little bit there. what was your greatest challenge on that bull there? What was your greatest challenge in getting on him? And was it a morning or an evening, afternoon kill on your bull there? But what was your greatest challenge?
Well, honestly, this was my best season yet dealing with the elk. I was an elk every single day since the opener. And unfortunately I got COVID that first week, and man, I could not draw my bow. I lost complete. So, I mean, I was still out there, and, I did spot this bull the day before season, and he was on the property that I got permission to hunt. And so the whole season I followed his routines. I figured out what he wanted to do. He had a big herd of cows already just opening weekend. I mean, this is the end of August. So when it came down to it, it was the last 2 weeks of the season. And it was a really open pasture area that he liked to hang out with a few cows. And there's 3 bushes on top of that knoll. And I watched for like 3 nights in a row, he did the exact same thing. And I'm like, I got to get up there before he does. And I'm a pretty aggressive caller. So throughout my whole hunting, I'm so passionate about talking to him, bugling him in. And I've had great success throughout my whole life doing that. But this year I really had to learn the open country, spot and stock, be patient. And it really put me to the test. I didn't really ever blow him out, but wind is swirling up on top there. And anyways, I picked the right bush to sit under, and at 85 yards, he comes down and he's bugling, making like the gruntiest T-Rex noises I've ever heard. And I was just boiling. I don't know. And it was windy that night, and the tree behind me, I couldn't tell if I was shaking more than it with the wind, and just a crazy thing. And he ended up coming all the way to 40 yards. Actually, it was 35. I thought it was 40. When I drew back, I actually had my rangefinder tucked in my binoculars, and it plopped off, and he caught my attention by that. And I held for 40, and it was actually 35, shot a little high. And man, after that, I called my dad. I was like, I think I killed the biggest bull of my life. And at that point I went and checked for blood. And anyways, it went on to the next morning at 4. My dad's a music teacher. So he's like, I can help you till about 8:30, but then I got kids coming in. And anyways, we picked up the blood trail, and we followed it for 500, 600 yards. And really, it made me nervous to wound one. And we ended up following him back towards like where we parked the truck, and we came around. Anyways, I'm not a great storyteller, but that bull ended up chasing more cows the direction that we were coming back grid searching for him. And he was the closest bull that came, and I drew back, and my dad's filming with the iPhone, and it was just unreal. Like I look back and like, that's my bull. I can see my arrow, and he walked right 20 yards. I gave him a little cow call, shot him, and my dad's filming. I mean, it's just an iPhone, but it captured that entire moment of like, just, I don't know. I can't ever relive it. I mean, it's just so good. And he drops on the film, on the video, and there's my bull. I'm giving my dad a big hug. And it was one of those moments. I mean, my dad raised me up in this whole archery elk calling, and there we are again. He's getting up in his age, and it's just another memory to tack on to tell my kids at some point. So.
Oh, that's great. What a great storyteller you actually are on that. We're all in the moment there, and overcoming adversity when that rangefinder fell out of your pocket caused things to happen more quickly than what you wanted. And I know that all of us on here and those viewers wish that elk would get COVID and take away their smell.
Oh,
so,
man.
but yeah, would that be nice?
Yeah.
But we wish you the greatest success to the rest of the competition here.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that story. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Grayson, congratulations on all your success, man. Like Peter and everyone else has said, it was really fun to watch. And again, listening to you tell the story, I'm right there with you. I'm excited for you. I wish I could have been there. The one question that I always kind of look back on in my own season is, if you could change one thing about it, what would you have done differently, good, bad, or indifferent?
About that hunt, do you think, or just the season?
Just your season, your season in general.
Man, I mean, that's a tough one. Because honestly, getting my wife a bull was like one of my main priorities. Was just like, she has been shooting with me every summer for like the last 4 or 5 years, and just to see how much work she puts in. And then, we've had bulls talking in the past, but they never commit. There's that hang up range, and you got to know how to outsmart them over here with the calling and just getting them into that pocket. And it just hasn't happened to her. And this year it was so close, and she missed a shot just under a cow. And I mean, she was just wanting that experience so bad. And, just after seeing all my family's success, and if I could change anything, it would be for her to get a bull or to get something down. And absolutely, like, that would be the thing that would just make my whole year, just to see her holding the rack like that or something.
That's really cool to hear, because again, that says a lot about your character. It wasn't about you killing anything bigger, doing something else to add success to your name. It was to watch someone that you love and care about, and someone that you've mentored along the way have success. So great answer.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're starting to run into our closing minutes. Let's give one more question to Grayson, and we'll move on.
Good thing. Congratulations, man. And you keep saying you're not a storyteller, but I disagree. Those are very well told. Last question. What do you think the Outdoorsman of the Year represents? And what does that title symbolize?
I think it has a lot to do with experience in the outdoors. Someone that does care about like conservation and wanting to like educate the next generation, of course. But like a lot of it comes to like respecting the animal. For me, is like just to see people that, coyotes, they are like one of my favorite animals. Elk are my absolute, like, those two are my favorite animals. And I hate to see them suffer. I hate to see them, I know coyotes need to go in areas to help the deer population. I know, elk fills that freezer over there, and I can give it to family and the neighbors down the street here. And someone that really does care about, showing respect to what God's given us and just being ethical. And it just kind of wraps up into one thing, just being one of those people that really cares about, preserving this for future generations.
Great answers, Grayson. 27 years old. You put together a heck of a season. I know that, as good as this season was, and it may have been a best season for you. I know it might be hard to compete with your 2019 when you doubled up on some mountain lions within about a 10-minute window. I mean, that was a fun story you got to tell on the podcast, but you put together a heck of a season. And, one of the things that I look for in the Outdoorsman of the Year is like, is this a banner year for them? Is this maybe the season that's going to define their lifetime? And this may have been the defining season of your life so far. Maybe it might tie with 2019. But the thing that I'm convinced of, and watching what I've seen with you and the way that you want to film your hunts and the way that you genuinely care about predator hunting, conservation, you got a well-rounded thing. But I'm like, man, your future is so bright. I think you still, as good as this season is, I mean, I think you still have incredible seasons out in front of you where, like when AJ was asking, would you change anything? And you mentioned like, I would love to see my wife get an elk. And I listened to that and I'm like, that might be next year. And when that happens, you might rank that and say, hey, that was actually the best season of my life, not because of what I did, but because of what she did. And we see that passion wrapped up in you. So as the founder of the app and as a person that's put HuntLeague together, man, I just want to thank you for being a part of our community. And I want to see more and more young men like you, like Josiah, a part of this community, because you do inspire us. You're young, but here you are talking to a generation that everybody is older than you, but you inspire us. And I just want to say congratulations. I mean, Josiah is a 16-year-old sitting there saying he put in 70 hunts for a deer, and he's still out there doing that. I don't know many kids that disciplined. I don't know many people that put in the work that you guys did this year. And so I just want to say congratulations. You're a deserving finalist. thanks for taking a couple minutes and sharing that with us as the panel. We're going to circle back to you in a little bit, but go ahead and jump in with the other finalists so you can leave this group, and we're gonna
Guys.
do another
Appreciate it.
spotlight. Thank you, Grayson.
Thank you.
Hey, let's see here. I got to catch up. Weston, I'm jumping to you.
I'm here.
Weston, you have been a guide. You've been an outfitter. You've been in the outdoors. You and I met. You've been doing a TV show that was called The Experience for years. You're doing something now with Brave Experience. Would you just spend a couple minutes? We're going to put a spotlight on Brave Experience. People may have seen what it is in the app. They see it in the Outdoorsman of the Year listed as one of the prizes. But can you just go ahead and introduce us as the HuntLeague community what Brave Experience is?
No, absolutely. And again, it's an honor being part of this community. You know, I've been an outfitter for 39 years. I got my start taking Will Primos and Jimmy Primos and the Primos crew on their first elk hunt over 39 years ago. And then having dual game calls. And then my family's always been in the meat business and been in the jerky business. My dad created High Mountain Jerky Cure and Seasoning. And I invented the cracked pepper garlic, and he gave me $2,000 in a non-compete clause. So anyway, if you use that, I created that seasoning, then brought it over to Brave here. You can see the flag here. This is what we're most about. Number one, right now, as we're on here today, there's men and women that are fighting for our freedom. We must never forget that. There's firemen that are going out the door, police officers, first responders, you know, that are suiting up, vesting up, and going out there. And so 5% of every sale goes back to honor those heroes. Right now, the 5% is paying for 2 wildland firefighters, burn survivors. We surprised at a PBR event in Nampa, Idaho, and then took them to bucking the bulls on the deck of the USS Lexington. There's nothing like standing on the deck of the USS Lexington singing the national anthem. Tell me we don't live in the greatest country in the greatest nation, greatest country in the world. And then the other thing is the American raised beef. We've got to stand with our American rancher. The average rancher is losing $250 every head that hits a slaughterhouse door. Our 4 major packers are foreign owned. The suicide rate amongst our American ranchers is through the roof. I challenge everybody to Google it. It will blow your mind on farmers and ranchers. We got to find distribution for these ranchers. And so we're using 100% carcass. We use 100% American raised beef. The largest jerky company in the world out there and in this nation does $1 billion a year, and they use 0 American raised beef. We gotta change that. So with our jerky Brave Experience, it's worthy of the hero in all of us. It's all natural. And again, 5% goes back to honor our heroes. So if you go to brave-experience.com, that's brave-experience.com, and use promo code HEROES, you'll get 10% off. I sound like My Pillow, but it is. It's Brave Experience. But we got to stand for the American rancher. We got to stand for the American hero. And we're flying that flag, and we ain't scared. God bless the United States of America. And it's this community that's a major part of bringing this nation back. And who else, if things go sideways, are they going to come to ask, if we can go out and supply meat for them? But anyway, Brave Experience.
That was a great introduction. I'm sure a lot of people have never heard that. You know, they've seen the packaging, they've seen the meat, they've seen something, but it's like they haven't even tried it yet. So I would encourage everybody in the HuntLeague community, get out there and understand, what we're supporting, how we're spending our money, and how it actually does make a difference. I think it's mind-blowing to hear, things about suicide and those things with our ranchers and what they're actually, the competition that's out there. So thanks for shining a light on that too, Weston. We're really grateful to have somebody that's such an experienced outdoorsman, as well as somebody with such a passion for this nation and for the people of this nation. So thank you for joining us. We're gonna do we're gonna jump and do a quick giveaway. Some of you guys, we did another one. This is going back to what we did in December, but we had people post, stories from different places that they hunted. This is the adventure package, and somebody that's looking to hunt in multiple states. It's kind of ironic, but he won this through some of his posts that he did in the community page. But I'm going to turn this one over to Hunt Score. We got Matt at Hunt Score, so I'm going to turn this one over to him, share a little video that he shot. So here we go.
Hey folks, Matt Haberger here. I'm the owner of HuntScore, and I'm excited to be partnering with Jared and HuntLeague this year to give away a HuntScore membership. You know, when Jared talked to me about HuntLeague and partnering, I thought, man, this is an awesome app. Allows people to get in there, log their hunts, and you know, also you get to share with the community and also do a little friendly competition. So nothing wrong with that. In fact, you know, it's what a lot of us do. This just kind of brings it into the digital age. So anyways, if you aren't familiar with HuntScore, we provide data and tools to help hunters find their hunts. And whether you're looking for draws, harvest data, you want to apply to limited entry hunts, or trying to find the best over-the-counter hunt, we've got it all in a platform that allows you to pretty quickly and easily compare hunts and find your hunt. So with that, I will tell you who the winner is of this year's annual HuntScore membership, and I apologize for giving them a leg up on next year's competition. But with that, I'm happy to announce that Andrew Bates, Crude Outdoors, has won the annual HuntScore membership, and I'll turn it back over to Jared so he can let the show go on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt. That's pretty exciting. So congratulations, Andrew Bates. You won annual membership to HuntScore. All right, let's bring in. All right, Daniel Housley went by. Let's bring in Garrett Weaver. So I'm looking for Garrett Weaver. I don't know that he's jumped in yet, but hopefully he is on his way. I know he's sitting in the room. Garrett, we're waiting for you. Let's see. Not
It's okay,
seeing
Garrett. I don't hunt with the GPS either.
Let me see where he's at. We got a guy Will coming in, but he's coming a little early. Got guy Will coming in, but he's coming a little early. All right, there's Will. Will, we got you in a breakout room. Let's see if we can get let's see if we're having some technical issues. Maybe Wyatt, you in there? You ready to roll? Okay, sorry, Garrett is saying he got struggling to get back in.
He was in judges, looks like by mistake.
Okay, this is the fun part of dealing with technical issues. All right, here he comes. I can see him now. Garrett Weaver.
What's
Welcome.
what's a YouTube video without a little technical difficulties?
Man, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
A little bit of a delay, but thanks for jumping in. We're gonna jump right into it. I met you right before the season started. I think we just reached out on Instagram. I had watched a couple of your videos, and I think I'd commented and then told you a little bit about the HuntLeague app. The next day, we're like, hey, you want to record a podcast? We jumped in, did a podcast. You burst some ideas that kind of have actually helped kind of lead leagues in the direction that it's gone. So it's been a great honor to have you, not just as a hunter in our community, but somebody that's been kind of rooting for it and helping the platform. So thank you for being here. You put together one heck of a season. I can't wait for the judges to kind of hear more and actually hear from you. They've seen the post, they read your application as a finalist, but I'm going to let the judges take it away. So Peter, I think you said you were going to start these things. So Peter, go ahead and let's put 10 minutes on the clock. And here we got Garrett.
Garrett. Oh, good. I got my mic on. Hey, so good to meet you in person. Like, it is really nice to put a face to the stories that I heard in the podcast and your application and your posts. a live person because there are a couple pictures in there. I also want to say wow, that Cougar encounter with that elk.
Oh,
That brought back scary memories for myself personally with something similar, but that's just crazy. When you have those type of encounters in the wild, that kind of throw a kink into things. But thank you so much for sharing that. That was a great story. So I'm going to start you off here. The first question I have is, what made this season extraordinary for you, and why, besides surviving a cougar encounter?
Well, first of all, for me personally, I'm not one of these guys that goes out and hunts, 50 different states and kills 20 animals a year. Oregon isn't we got plenty of opportunity here, don't get me wrong, but you can't go out and kill, a million deer a year like Alabama. So you're like usually one deer a year here, one elk a year. Like you're lucky you can get more than one bear. And so usually I've been limited to pretty much a bear, a deer, and an elk most seasons if I had a really successful season. And this year I really wanted to have a great year. 2020 wasn't so good. It was actually the worst year I've ever had. And then so I made some plans and actually was able to put some pieces together with my uncle and my dad and go hunt Wyoming. So Oregon, it took me 13 years to get my first antelope tag because it's Oregon. And Wyoming, it's much easier. So I was able to shoot my second antelope. First time in Montana, driving through the panhandle of Idaho. And Wyoming was beautiful. It was just like right there alone with that. That was amazing. But and then I was able to hunt Idaho again this year, which I'd done 2 or 3 years before that. And just everything really came together this year, man. It was the lowest of lows last year. And then being able to share the woods with people like my stepdad for the first time. Him and I never really got to hunt much growing up. And then he was been my stepdad since I was probably like, 3 or 4. And or maybe even younger than that. And I was always hunting with my dad. And so we made a plan to go hunt this year together. And that was pretty darn special for me.
Great. Hey, thanks for sharing that. I can relate to your feast or famine. Last year, I probably had one of my best years ever. And this year was the first time in 45 years I didn't harvest a single thing. So that's the curse blessing of the outdoorsman.
I don't know if I want to win if that's the juju I'm going to get, man. That's
no, man. It's just one of those things that just happens. Plus, I had shoulder surgery, but anyway, those things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pass you off, man, to Nick. You want to take the next question?
Absolutely. Garrett, congratulations on being in the top 4. It's a pleasure to meet you. Reading your application over and over. It sounds like you had an awesome year. And you are from Wisconsin, is that right?
I'm Oregon.
You're Oregon. Okay.
I'm one of the Oregon boys. Yeah.
You got a little bit of that Wisconsin accent, so I thought I'd ask.
Thank you.
So my question is this. What did you learn about yourself this year? Because I think for myself, every year I'm learning something more about myself every year. I'm redefining my skills, my tools, and all that stuff. And it's kind of putting me into an alley of how I am as a hunter. So for this year, self-reflecting on yourself, what did you learn about yourself this year?
I'm not as tough as I thought I was. I go to Idaho, and I don't know who all here is. Most of you probably have hunted Idaho, but we're re-hunting the way that I hunt. I kind of consider Idaho to be my proving grounds for the year. It's rugged country, man, and it's steep and it's deep. And I went there. I went to the gym all year long, 3 to 5 days a week on average, and shot my bow. I did all that stuff. Was very consistent with it. And I just thought I'd do way better than I did. And that was my second time hunting that area. So I knew what I was getting into, but the weather wasn't ideal. It was actually very, very bad. And I had a lot of gear malfunctions while I was there. Everything from a sleeping bag zipper to my brand new boots leaking to my scope fogging up, everything. I mean, there's a list that long I could tell you. And I just found out that, I wasn't as tough as I thought I was physically. And honestly, I was really hoping to deal with adversity better mentally. And one thing I did recognize real time is like, I was just having a pissy party out there. It's like, I'm not seeing the bucks I should be seeing. I'm hunting harder than everybody else, just justifying why it should be me and why, this and that. And I kind of just recognized, what I was doing is like, just kind of need to snap out of it. And so I'm sitting by a fire I built on this ridge. It's like 30 miles an hour and it's 30-ish degrees out. So it's freaking cold. And I forced myself to sit out there all freaking day, even though it made no sense, on that little ridge, just to just to prove to myself I could do it. I'd gotten up 2 hours before daylight and I was almost to the top of the mountain, watching the headlights come in. And I'm like, I need to do this for myself because I'm not as tough as I thought I was. And I just really physically, I was having some hip and knee issues that came out of nowhere because none of that ever happened during working out. And that really bothered me, and we're never as tough as we think we are. We're the softest thing out there. So.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I mean, most of those hard hunts, those ones that were just, hurting so bad are the ones that we remember the most. And we can apply them to our future hunts. So that's a good answer. And, I wish you the best success.
Thanks, man. And to finish that off, I was hunting with a cousin of mine named Bubba. And I didn't know he was actually working out because in the podcast, I made it sound like he wasn't working out. And I just talked to him the other day. And he kicked my butt with a chew in his mouth and no rain gear. And I'm like complaining my rain gear is, leaking. And that was another thing. It's like, dude, I just got showed up by a guy who looks like he just went to the rodeo, drank 3 beers, and then shot a nice buck and is packing it out. So I was like, I don't know, that really affected me too. That was kind of a messing with my mind there a little bit, but
that's good. Well, stay out of your head, Garrett.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hey, Garrett, Weston Clark here. Congratulations making it to the final of Outdoorsman of the Year for HuntLeague. And, with a name like Bubba, you got to have a chew in your mouth there. So I tip my hat to him there. So if you had to change one thing about this season, what would it be if you had to change that one thing? And we all have them.
If I had to change one thing about the season, I would have gone into Wyoming a lot more educated. I took a family member's word, and I'm not blaming him at all, right? I mean, you should do your own diligence. You should do your own research. And he had success in that unit prior, about 3 years prior. And it was a great unit, a lot of antelope, no problem finding them on public land. And I just like, all right, this will be an easy hunt. Let's go over there and get it done, come back. And there was a disease that went through that area, a really bad drought, a ton of hunters. I mean, I was scouring Onyx, finding these, I call them like land bridges of like BLM that are like 200 yards wide that leads you into a giant swath of BLM, but they're surrounded by private. And I don't know who here's hunted Wyoming, but they don't really mark crap over there. So you have to have Onyx. And I get back there and no one else is going to be back there because no one else is going to have this idea. And I'd get 2 miles in and then there'd be 3 guys walking out. And I'm like, if I would have done, if it was just a regular hunt and I would have just done the research, I would have had a lot better idea of what I was getting into. And it came to making a really lucky phone call in the parking lot in town and getting a hold of a rancher. And that was the only reason we filled our tags. I mean, we all would have went home empty handed, and that was completely, I call it luck. But as we were driving around, I was marking all the ranches I kept seeing antelope on. And I just made the phone calls to those ranches, and first phone call I got a yes. And I was like, heck yeah. So I would say do more due diligence, even on the for sure hunts. That's what I would change.
Well, that's wisdom there. I took Jim Zumbo to Unit 2 in Colorado, which is a high trophy unit, on an antelope hunt. And it was absolutely brutal. It was a nightmare. I'm here with Jim Zumbo and we can't find an antelope. And so every year, that's just wisdom there. You got to do your own due diligence. So thank you for sharing that, man. And good luck.
Thanks.
Garrett, congratulations on all your success, man. Again, it's been fun to watch you throughout the season and the recap and the podcast and everything. Hey, you're mentioning, it's funny because I've hunted Wyoming as well, and you're right, they don't post shit out there, and it's guys like Weston's friends that own a bunch of cattle ranches that will come and give you a hard time for trespassing when it wasn't intentional. But
Yeah.
did you ever find yourself when you were on a hunt like that where you were kind of down on your luck and things weren't playing out the way you wanted? Were you ever faced with an ethical dilemma of maybe just shooting one on someone's property without permission? Anything like that ever cross your mind?
I think well, straight up, yeah, but would I ever do it? No. I think when you're struggling that freaking hard and you're just seeing all these antelope and you're having to drive 80 miles a day to go hunt, 60 acre, 80 acre parcels of, BLM that 50 other people are glassing. And then you see one that's like right on the edge of BLM and private, and you're like, I don't know. And it just comes down to, it's not worth it. And it's not the right thing. I love hunting too much to give up my rights for something so stupid, but there was a million opportunities over there. It sounds like you've hunted it. So I know you could corner hop and get into some state land in a bunch of spots or BLM. And there's a court case going on right now, I think in is it Wyoming? It might even be Wyoming, the corner hopping guys. And I didn't want to be the first guy to test that court case. And so, it was just better to make the phone call and pay the $300 to the rancher and get 9,000 acres for $300 and turn that trip around, man. But yeah, I think anybody facing that scenario where you are so invested into that hunt, I drove 19 hours and then you're like, this is it. This is it. And then you just see all these bucks that are magically on that invisible line. It's like, I can't do it, because even if you shoot it and it's 10 yards in, you can't prove it if it runs off on the private. So it's just not worth it. But I think it's just natural to, natural to have the want to yearn or the need to just, I don't know. I would never do it, but yeah, that was absolutely a dilemma over there.
Hey, Garrett, we're going to run out of time, but I want to ask real quick, because we kind of asked you some of the challenges, but you had a really successful season. You had a bear, you had an elk, you had 2 deer, you had a pronghorn. If it came to a big game champion, you have that in the bag without question. But tell me a little bit about what was the highlight moment for you? I'm going to ask that, and then I'll let the judges kind of have one final question, then we got to wrap it up and keep moving. But what was the highlight of your season? You had a lot of success. So what was the one moment that you would point out and say that was it?
Yeah. Well, sorry for answering long. Probably should answer shorter so I can get more questions in. But my favorite moment is going to sound probably pretty insignificant unless you have a wife that doesn't hunt, or you're trying to get her into hunting. I took my wife up, and after last year, hopefully you guys listen to the podcast so you know what happened there. I wasn't even going to mention the word hunting to her, but she went out and bought her own hunting license, her own hunting tags on her own. And I promised myself I wasn't going to ever bring it up unless she did. And she's like, I get home from Idaho a few days later, she's like, take me hunting. Hell yeah, let's go. And so we went over there, and then we're like, we don't have much daylight left, right? And so she's like, well, I'm hungry, I want to get a taco salad. And so I'm like, all right, let's pull in here, get a taco salad. If we run out of daylight, it's your hunt, right? And so she gets her taco salad, we're driving up the mountain, and then she starts getting cold as I'm glassing. And so I put on the seat warmers. Well, the seat warmers put her to sleep. So we pull up to the spot, and I get out, and she's sleeping in the truck. And I get out and I'm glassing last hour of daylight, like less than that. And then I spot some does coming out of the timber, and it's November 4th. And it's, I would say, half an hour of daylight left at this point. And I'm just going to play the does like there's a buck with them, because it's that time of year. And I go back, I say, I got some does spotted, and she moans and grumbles. I'm like, I'm not going to, not going to push you. So I'm just going to go walk over there with the gun. I got a tag, and we'll see what happens. And, a really nice blacktail was looking at the does about another 250, 300 yards down the timber. And, that white muzzle just barely poking out right at dusk. And I was able to put one in them. And in my favorite moment, to answer the question, is her helping me holding, she brought my pack, because I didn't bring my pack with me because I wanted to make time. So she grabbed my pack, my knives, and the wrong knives. And so I had to do that whole deer with a flay knife. I had to do the whole thing. And so I was like, dude, so if you've ever quartered in a deer with a flay knife the whole way, kudos to you. It's a pain in the ass. So
So that's your highlight, huh? Doing that.
yeah, but no, having her
there.
there for that moment
Oh,
was my favorite part of the whole year. You know, just that for me, that was my highlight. That was supposed to be her deer, but she's fascinated with that part of the hunt. Just the watching the animal get, you know, basically quartered up, having the flesh come off the bones, everything. She loves that part. And so hope, you know, just helping her fall in love with hunting along the way has just been a really big blessing. So
All right, guys, final question.
Congratulations, man. It was a great year. Lots of success, and it's cool to hear the stories behind it all. But last question, what do you think Outdoorsman of the Year represents? And what does the title symbolize?
oh man, well, that's a hard question to answer shortly. That's an all-encompassing term. I like outdoorsman can be the umbrella, and then you have woodsmanship, you have time spent in the woods, you have all this other stuff, and to me it's all encompassing. I mean, if you read my Instagram thing, it's my bio, it's sharing my passion for bow hunting and helping others along the way. And I think that right there, helping others along the way in the woods, sharing your passion, being doing the right thing. Like AJ asked, did you face any dilemmas? Yeah, I faced quite a few in Wyoming, right? But doing the right thing, I guess not how to explain this, but I had a tag in Arizona that I was going to go on. I was going to go to Arizona, and having filled the freezer with the 5 big game animals I killed, I never thought I'd feel like this, but I said, am I not going there to fill my freezer? It's already full. So why am I going there? And doing the right thing, even though it sucks sometimes, that wasn't the right thing, because I'd just be going over there to fill my ego, not my freezer. And that was kind of a gut check for me. So I scaled back, and I said, I'll just leave that for next year when I need the meat and I need the tag and all that stuff. And so it's really all encompassing, and knowing the game you pursue, being efficient with your weapon, spending time in the outdoors, just having fun. This is the first year I had fun in a long time, it wasn't because I killed a bunch of stuff. It's because I just put all that other stuff aside and just wanted to hunt how I wanted, with who I wanted, and where I wanted. And that allowed me to have my best season ever. And for me, after having the year I had in 2020, man, it would really be icing on the cake. I'll tell you.
That's phenomenal. Garrett, congratulations on an incredible season. I think your explanation too of being an outdoorsman and what that means to you, I know it. We get to see it. You live that out. Some of the people don't know, like you talked about proficiency with your weapon. You're a guy that has tons of YouTube videos on tuning your bows, spending time both with a gun, with a rifle, and it's not just so that you can be a marksman. It's because you genuinely care about the animals that you're pursuing, and taking one in a humane way is important to you. And I think you have led the charge with a lot of people. You have a big following on your YouTube, big following on Instagram, because there's a lot of people that are drawn to who you are as a hunter. So it's an honor for us as HuntLeague, as a new platform, to have somebody like you that has that's really established yourself as a leader in the hunting community. And so thank you for participating with us, joining us tonight. I know you said 2020 was just the year from hell for you. And to have a bounce back year like this, congratulations on a banner year. And thank you for sharing that year with us as the HuntLeague community, because we got to watch it unfold. We saw you kind of created this content creator league and set the starting date is August 1st. And here you are on August 1st, taking a bear on opening day, establishing wow, who is this guy? So congratulations, though, on a great season. Thanks for jumping in. You can jump in with the other finalists in the waiting room. And we're going to spend a minute with AJ. So AJ, you're with Velvet Antler Technologies. It's a newer company, but with a fantastic product that anybody that is out hunting needs to know about? Because you started with a velvet product, you know, because really your options are to scrape the velvet and glue some fake velvet on that doesn't really look great, or people are going to spend a lot of money and it takes a lot of time to send your velvet off to get it freeze dried or something like that. You brought something that's a brand new kind of alternative to the market. And would you just tell, and you don't have to dive into that. If you want to introduce yourself, I want to do a spotlight though on AJ, Velvet Antler Technologies. I'm a user of your guys' products. I heard about it for the first time this past year from a guy that's going to join us. You can see a little name, Joe, down there. He's the guy that did this Euro mount for me right behind me. But AJ, go ahead and spend a couple minutes. Tell us about Velvet Antler Technology. Tell us about who you are.
For sure. Thanks for having me, guys. Again, I met Jared several years ago. Him and I were just small business owners. I feel kind of awkward doing this without my business partner because he truly is like the lifeblood of our company as well. His name is Daryl Goger. Wish he could be on here with me. He's probably watching. But, we are a relatively newer company, at least publicly. We started this business and we started developing the Velvelock, which is this bottle you can see right here, back in 2010, 2011. And we did it out of necessity. So these products truly are made by passionate hunters for passionate hunters. We didn't do it to make money. We didn't do it for any other reason other than we are passionate hunters. My cohort, Daryl, that I was just mentioning, has been a guide in Nevada for years and years and would sometimes be 100 miles from the nearest taxidermist, taking guys like Weston does. These guys pay big money and they look forward to these trips all year long, and they get out in that 100-degree heat. And there was no option out there. Their option was to break it down as quick as possible and try to race to a taxidermist. Well, obviously we found that not to be very effective. So Daryl, in all of his infinite wisdom, got together with me and we just started mixing and playing with things. And, took us a little bit of time to figure out the magical solution. And, we've got our personal mounts, not one behind me, but we've got several of our mounts that are, 14, 15, 16 years old, that the velvet looks just as good as the day that it was harvested. I mean, it's an amazing product. And what it does is it's a liquid solution. You just adjust the sprayer here and you just saturate the membrane of the velvet, starting up at the tips and working your way down. And what it does is it was chemically designed to impregnate itself between the living velvet tissue and the bone, and actually preserves it from the inside out. And for those of you that know a lot about ungulate animals and you understand the bone density and structure during those early months, that bone at times is so soft you can bend it. So this actually gets into the bone tissue and preserves it, not just the surface of the velvet, but actually impregnates itself all the way down to the bone density. So again, just one of our many products. You can check us out online. I know Jared and Joe had an opportunity to try out our trophy head hauler, which is another really cool product that we have. We designed this head hauler to proportionately fit to anything with antlers. It can be used on bears and some other stuff, but what it truly has done, it's revolutionized how you pack out anything in velvet. For all you backcountry guys understand, is you used to have to try to cross some straps across the skull plate and it would rub against the velvet, or you'd have to tie it up and touch it. This thing cinches down with a number of extremely durable nylon straps and webbing and ladders, and allows you to zip that thing down to anything. It could be a horse, it could be a pack, it could be a four-wheeler, whatever it is, and just keeps that thing secure and tight so that you don't damage the velvet or the antlers. And then again, we have a couple other products. So I encourage everyone to hop on our website. It's just www.velvetantlertechnologies.com. We can also be found on Instagram and YouTube as well. We're always revolutionizing. We've got a number of other products that are coming forward this year. Everything from mount cleaners, which we have, enzymatic blood removers, and some pretty cool stuff that I think will help change the game for everyone that spends time out in the field.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is really unique too, a lot of people are harvesting stuff in, cold weather, like, as the fall kind of sets in. But, when you're dealing with deer and elk or anything like that that's still in velvet, you're usually hunting during some of your late summer months. And, your product is one of those things that actually works best in sunlight, which is like it works the opposite of the way that you would think about most things. Like the first thing you want to do is get it somewhere cool, dry stuff, and get it somewhere out of the sun. And it's like you allow, like, man, if an elk dies on a hillside, like you can apply your product right there in the sunlight on a hot day, and it's going to have fantastic results. It's an impressive thing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you highlighted that, because that is one question we get a lot of. your guys in Arizona, Southern Colorado, wherever you are, it goes against everything that we as outdoorsmen and archery hunters and early rifle hunters know about velvet. Is typically, like you said, you put it in someplace cold to try to keep that tissue alive. Well, once Velvelock has been applied, it's actually activated and does its job by heat and UV sunlight. So your guys in like Arizona, they'll have a velvet mule deer out on the Arizona Strip cured within 24 to 48 hours.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Okay, we're gonna jump to another giveaway. We've got another giveaway. This giveaway is our roller coaster giveaway. So we asked people to post something about a roller coaster ride, and it happens to be another one of our finalists. This is for the Trophy Ridge Hitman Kit, which is, this is an incredible stabilizer for a bow. It didn't have to go to a bow hunter by any means, but we wanted to give this to somebody that had a roller coaster experience. Well, we already heard a little bit about the roller coaster experience. Crayson McBride is the winner of this Hitman Kit. And the reason why he's the winner is shooting a bull the night before. You see that you shoot it high. It was the bull that he'd been waiting for. All the stuff that he did, he shot it thinking it was 40 yards, put it in at 35. Anybody that's done that as an archer goes home and the heartache, the sleepless night, it's an incredibly difficult kind of ride. And then here he goes out with his dad the next morning and was able to actually find that same bull up on his feet, still chasing cows with an arrow in it, like the roller coaster that he went through. And if you have not watched the YouTube video that he created, I would say, man, go to YouTube, watch McBride hunts, look for this elk hunt, because it was a roller coaster, and he did a fantastic job of actually capturing the ups and downs of that hunt. And so congratulations, Crayson McBride. You are our Hitman Kit roller coaster winner. So that's a fantastic product, by the way. I don't know what you've got on your bow right now, but I guarantee you're going to love the addition of this Hitman Kit in what you got. So let's do this. We're down to our fourth finalist. This is Wyatt Bowe. Wyatt, you are the final finalist. We're going to jump right into your interview because we're running a little bit late on time. I want to try to speed through the rest of this night. I'm still going to give you your 10 or 12 minutes with our judges panel. So without any further ado, we got another Wisconsin boy, Wyatt Bowe. Pete, take that opening question. Let's get him going.
Wyatt, so glad to meet you in person. Put the face, but put the person behind the story, the podcast, your application that all of us have read. And I love your mounts. That's a beautiful pheasant mount. Decent whitetail, not bad. Something to work towards, right? But thank you for joining us, and congratulations on being one of the finalists. It truly is an honor that you've made it to the final four, and well deserved for sure. So I'm going to start us off here with the first question. Could you share with us what made this season extraordinary for you and why?
So I have to start off with the success between the turkeys, the bears, the deer, the pheasants, everything, ducks, geese. And then I got to travel to 2 other states this year, which I don't typically get to do. I typically stay in Wisconsin, but this year I got to go South Dakota and Colorado, one for elk hunt, other for pheasants. And then I got to take out 3 kids for their first turkeys. And then I took my girlfriend out rifle hunting.
Well, that's great. But I think your mom also, didn't she get her first 10 point, her first deer, right?
Yep. My mom this year, she's hunted since my mom and my dad met. So, well, it was their 25-year anniversary this year. So they've been together for a long time. And the biggest buck she ever shot was a 6-pointer. And I believe that was 15 plus years ago when they were first kind of going out. And rifle season, she's pretty much been taking my sister out just in their box stand, but this year she got the opportunity to pull a trigger on a nice 10-point.
Yeah, I heard that in your podcast. And then not only did your sister go out, but your sister is pregnant and going out there hunting.
Yep.
That's a true family starting really young,
Yeah.
What, 3 months?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Thank you very much for that answer. I'm going to pass you off to Nick. Wait, did I do? I'll say AJ. AJ, could you take the next one?
Absolutely.
Thank
Wyatt,
you.
welcome. It's been fun, and it's been an honor to watch you this season and all of your accolades. Again, it's really impressive, not just for you, but for your family and everything that you guys have accomplished. I'm envious of the amount of time that you get to spend outdoors. So congratulations on that. So the question I had is, you talked about some of your highlights, but is there one thing that you would have changed about this season?
Oh, I guess the only thing I would have to change is bow hunting for whitetails here in my home state. I went out a lot. I don't actually get to hunt a whole lot on the home farm anymore. I hunt just about 15 minutes away from where I live now in Eau Claire. I asked a farmer for permission. So, and I had a buck about 20 yards away. I was right on the fence line, but he never got close enough to cross over the line for me to get a shot. I mean, he stepped over. I don't know the definite line because I'm not for sure. It's not my land or anything, but it was too close to the line for me to pull a trigger on one. And I was just hoping I could set up a little bit deeper in the woods to maybe pull them in a little farther on the grunt call.
That's great. Well, I commend you for taking the ethical high road on that one and not jeopardizing you and your future and your relationship with those landowners out there just to fill a tag. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Wyatt, Weston Clark here. Congratulations on making it to the Final Four, and hopefully you do better than Aaron Rodgers. And as a Denver Bronco fan, we hope that we get him. So all the different areas that you hunted, the different states that you hunted, what adversities did you face? What was your most difficult adversity? What adversities did you face, and what one just really stood out? Because there had to be several,
So probably main adversity would be the weather in South Dakota. We only had one good day out of 4. We got there, it was raining, snowy, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, just sleet in our face, and we still just drove out there and had great success there. Colorado that's just different terrain over there. I was up in a mountain bike, so I didn't get the dirt bikes like everybody else did.
Well, I did. We all deal with those weather adversities. That's absolutely for sure. And but knowing that our time is short here, we appreciate it. We wish you the best on this, and we'll pass it off there. How about you, Nick?
Bryant, good to meet you, buddy. Glad to put a face to the name finally. But I guess to keep things short, with all your adversities and all your success, and it sounds like your mom had a great time, and you being a part of that sounds awesome. What did you learn about yourself this year to make yourself a better hunter?
I learned that I actually like bringing other people out more than I like my own success in the woods. Obviously, it's really fun, gets your heart pumping, but I learned this year my heart pumped more when I was behind a video camera when I was mentoring the youth hunts, turkey hunting. Just seeing the birds come in for these young hunters, it just reminds me of myself when I was younger. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great feeling to be able to share those hunting experiences with others and seeing the look on their faces. So it's a good feeling.
You just touched on it. I was going to ask about just to tell a little bit more about the opportunity that you had to mentor those hunters, the turkey hunters. We love to hear that, and it sounds like a good story.
You want me to touch more on that?
Yeah.
So I took out three youth this year when turkey hunting. It's a 2-day turkey hunt here in Wisconsin. First one, this was the best we've ever had for youth hunt this year. It was like everything that we got to gobble came in. It was a blast. First day we didn't get anything for any of the kids. Second day, it was right away in the morning. 45 minutes after it got light out, nice bird walked out, got him. That was my favorite hunt out of all the youth hunts, was that one. Kid just reminded me just like myself when I was younger. So, and then I helped my cousin get a nice bird later in the day, and helped my dad's buddy get a nice bird, or his buddy's son get a nice bird.
That's great. Well, congratulations on such a great year. It's been great hearing all these stories.
Hey,
Back to you, Jared.
Oh, go ahead, Jared.
No, we're good. We have let's do 2 more questions. And then we'll jump in. So Pete, I don't know if you got one queued up.
Yeah, I always have one queued up. Let's see, I'm going to go back to what my notes here, because I was listening to his podcast, and one of the questions that I had when I was listening to it. Oh yeah, I remember now. So Wyatt, I want to know about what you shoot from a 35-foot stand, is my understanding. So I need to know a couple of things. First of all, what's the challenge there? You know, how do you manage to be successful from a 35-foot stand? And the follow-up question to that is, are you very good at math?
Yes. So I actually found it better that I was all the way up there, mainly because I was rifle hunting, so my range is a lot farther. I could shoot about 200 yards, and I've been watching this one tree for over 3-4 years, just waiting for it to get big enough, and it finally got big enough. And I was sitting that high up because I had to see over all the underbrush that was growing up, so that's why I was sitting that high. And I was in a big white pine, so no animals were really seeing me way up there.
Well, that's kind of really interesting, because you watch this tree start as a small baby tree, grow up to an adult tree, and then you're able to use that tree because of the advantage you're going to have by being up high. It's almost like us watching our kids grow up or something. Maybe there's a little of an.
No, I've been hunting this area since I was 10, since first year I could hunt, and it runs right in a funnel. And I always knew there was a lot of deer going in that funnel, and I could never see them. This year, it was finally the first year that it was big enough to put a stand in. And actually, I didn't use any tree pigs or anything. I just used the branches to climb up with the hang on. So,
wow,
That is truly the epitome of patience, waiting for that tree to get big enough to hunt from.
That's great. Let's go one more question. We'll finish out.
Is this the last question?
Last question.
All right, why don't you take it, AJ?
So what you've mentioned a lot of really great things here. We can definitely tell your passion and your drive to be outdoors. What does it mean for you to win Outdoorsman of the Year?
I think it just it symbolizes the work that you do when nobody else is watching. It's kind of like your grit, your passion, just being a role model with helping with all the mentors. It's just a label that you get to add on for fun, basically.
That's great. Okay, guys, we're going to keep moving. We are running a little bit behind on our scheduled time. So here's what we're actually going to do right now. Nick, I'm going to have you stay back with me. But judges, you guys have about a 10-minute window, because we're going to jump into some features. We're going to do a live giveaway with everybody in the app. We're going to kind of jump into that. But I'm going to spend just a quick second with Nick from Vortex Optics. Wyatt, go ahead and jump in with the other finalists, and you guys can kind of talk. But we're going to invite everybody back in about 10 minutes to jump in. But Nick, go ahead and why don't you stay with me, and let's talk about your involvement in Vortex. How'd you get involved with Vortex Optics? You know, what is give us a little bit of update. I think everybody here, it's, we're learning a little bit about Velvet Antler Technologies. We're learning about some of these other companies. Vortex is probably one that if you've hunted for any amount of time, you've heard of Vortex, you've seen them. They're on billboards. You walk into Cabela's, you've got an established brand. Tell me what it's like being a part of the Vortex team, and why would Vortex, which is such an established brand, be willing to participate with HuntLeague, which is just this baby, on its way out?
Well, Jared, first of all, I'm very honored to be a part of this 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year on this panel. And, from Vortex and myself, we're proud to be able to support you at the Hunt Club or the HuntLeague. This is exactly the community that, we want to be a part of. At Vortex, it's about you. It's about the hunter. It's about the shooter. It's about, creating that experience that they are having success in the field. And, every day we live it with our customer care, with our VIP warranty, all the above. I just walked into the warehouse yesterday to talk to bino repair and rifle repair. And I look up on their board that if someone has a malfunction with their binoculars or their rifle scopes, from the time they get it to the time it's back to that shooter, to that hunter, is about 2.7 days. So they're getting those fixed. They're getting it fixed. They're getting it cleaned. And basically, when you get those in, even if you have nothing wrong with it, you just want to make sure that it's good to go for the next season, you can send that in, and they're going to make it as brand new as possible, probably better than you would get it out of the box. So the turnaround there is just to make sure that the hunters have such success in the field. And we have our ethos on the wall in probably every room. And the first thing up there is it's about you. It's about the hunter. It's about the shooter. Even our CEO, the Hamiltons, we do a town hall monthly, and the whole company gets together in one room, and our CEO is literally reading these love letters from hunters that are saying like, hey, without your optics, we wouldn't have had the success, without your turnaround and your VIP warranty, because my brother was driving my Razor too fast and he dumped my my scope. So it's stuff like that's what we're there for. We're there to strive to make sure that there's not an unsuccessful hunt in the field. So, this is a great opportunity to be able to work with you and be able to support this kind of community, because it's what we live for. It really is.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. And Nick, I know you coming in, being a judge, I mean, you're just going the extra mile. I appreciate it. What people may or may not know is that Vortex was the first ever sponsor for HuntLeague, and it kind of happened accidentally. And it was really because of Peter Mosby, who's one of our judges. Last year, we kind of did a deal where we said, hey, the winner is going to get the item of their choice. And we kind of gave a budget, and that was the prize package. We didn't have any sponsors. We didn't really even have leagues in the app. And so when he won that, he was really hoping that he was going to draw a bighorn sheep tag this year. He didn't draw it. But he was like, man, if I want to do that, I want to get the best optics I can, because that would be a tremendous tool for me to have on that hunt. And so that was one of the other judges like, hey, let me connect you with Vortex. And it just, the way that it kind of worked out. And then not only when I started to explain to Vortex that, hey, here's the competition, would you guys be willing to sell it? Maybe instead of retail, would you do some kind of an insider discount? That was the initial conversation. And when you guys heard about what we were building with HuntLeague and jumped right in and said, man, we love what you guys are doing and we want to support this community. So whatever you need from us, we're in. I can't even tell you what that meant to me. And like, it's something that will forever carry forward in HuntLeague, where it's like Vortex, the VIP treatment that they gave me. And this is like, I don't even deserve this, but I felt like the way you guys jumped in to support this community, it was wind in my sails. And every small business owner that's kind of developing something knows how important it is just to kind of get a win like that. And I'll tell you, I've never had such a big win as when Vortex kind of came in and said, hey, we're going to support your community however you need us. So thank you, Nick, for being a part of that support. I'm holding you back as a judge because the other judges are conferring right now. So why don't you jump there? And I'm going to play a quick video. We're going to bring in a couple, like following the video. We'll kind of let people see some of the stuff that's coming up this year. But go ahead and join them, Nick, and everybody still watching. Pay attention because this is one of the most important videos we've ever played in Hunt League history. Here we go. 2021 has been an incredible year for Hunt League. Although this is our second Outdoorsman of the Year competition, we didn't officially have leagues in the app until just this past May. We launched last year with 5 leagues, and Hunt League plans to host at least 7 this year. We're going to circle back to leagues in just a few moments, but let's take a tour of some of the key features that debuted in 2021. We're still a long ways away from having a fully integrated website, but in 2021, we made it possible for users to create an account online as well as import and export waypoints. This made it possible to migrate location data between Hunt League and other applications such as Onyx, Basemap, Google Earth, Garmin, etc. We also made it easier during an active Hunter Scout to navigate and add events from the map screen as well as access your hunt logs. When logging a Hunter Scout, simply swipe from right to left to get to the map. If you want to view or confirm information entered in your hunt logs, swipe from left to right. Another feature we recently released was the ability to comment on a community post. I was hesitant to add this as I'm not much of a social media guy, but after multiple feature requests asking for this, I want to let you know that I have heard you and I have opened up comments. All right, the last 2021 highlight that I want to be sure to point out is your ability to share hunt logs with the entire community. Sharing with the community allows you to share your story without giving up your GPS information. To view a shared hunt log, simply click the hunt log icon located next to the comment icon. Okay, let's dive into some of the exciting new features coming in 2022. In just a few weeks, we'll be releasing an update that allows you to input species-specific success scores. For all of you inch and ounce counters, you'll soon be able to input specific scores such as a gross and net score, tip-to-tip antler measurement, hanging weight, overall length, or any other score related to your harvest. We've already begun a rebuild of our maps, and you should see some performance improvements in late March or April, where we look to include 3D maps, an updated topo view, and list elevation with each hunt log entry so that you can study past hunt logs to determine target elevation ranges for future hunts. Another huge feature to look forward to in 2022 will be adding new activity types. Currently, Hunt League offers either a hunt or scout, which limits the number of activities that we have the opportunity to log as outdoorsmen. Be on the lookout late summer for these new types of activities. In 2022, you will also have the ability to add more than just the 2 species to a hunt or scout. We'll still maintain where you select up to 2 species when you start a hunt or scout, but rather than just make it possible to add a 3rd or 4th, you'll be able to add an event for any species within the app by tapping the Add button next to the listed species in the title bar. Now, as great as those features are, none of those compare to what I'm about to announce. This is the biggest announcement so far in Hunt League history. And the good news is, this feature is already live on your phone with the most recent Hunt League 2.2 update. For the last 5 years, I've been building Hunt League with a vision to change the game of hunting by offering an entirely new way for hunters to capture and share their stories, compete, and build community in leagues. Tonight, as the judges are deciding the winner of the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year, I am so excited to announce to you a new day in Hunt League history where we unlock the power of leagues and turn them over to you to create. This may take a second to grasp, but now individuals can create a private league and compete with their buddies, similar to fantasy football. Local shops, ranges, archery clubs, churches, and all sorts of groups can build private leagues connecting the hunters in their community. Conservation organizations, they can build national leagues or ones just for their local or state chapters, better connecting members and offering them a way to celebrate the accomplishments of hunters within their organizations. You decide and create a league built just for you. Select which species or methods of take that you want to count. If there's an additional buy-in, if there's prizes, if it's a local or national competition. I am handing you the keys to build and create leagues, and together, we're about to change the game of hunting. The options are endless. Just go to the HuntLeague website to build out your league, and then go invite your tribe to jump in with you. All right, I actually just created a league for those watching live. Let me give you a quick example of how to join and participate in a private league. Now, this is a game of speed, so bust out your phones, go to the leagues page, and hit the join tab up at the top bar. Enter the join code WIN. That is WIN, and follow the instructions listed on the league page. There are several prizes up for grabs, and we will announce those winners here in just a few minutes. All right, we have a few more minutes until we announce the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. While we wait, I want to introduce you to a few new leagues and sponsors that you will soon see in 2022. Lucas, my friend, you're up. Tell us who you are.
Howdy guys, my name is Lucas Watson. I work at a small little wild game processing shop here in Denver. And we make big pieces of meat into little pieces of meat and have a darn good time doing it. So yeah, we're all hunters down at the shop, kind of the leadership team, and we're under the philosophy of first legal animal when we do get the time to go out and hunt, kind of being in the hunting industry. So yeah, we're stoked to be a part of the team, know some of the guys, kind of hosting the event here, cut up a couple of their animals for them. And yeah, we're excited to see where HuntLeague goes, how it develops into the future. And we're just along for the ride and ready for it. So if you guys ever need a elk or a deer or a beef cut up, you just give us a ring and we'd love to help you out with it.
That's good stuff. Hey, one of the things, let's see here. I've got a couple people. So you and Joe, where's Joe? Joe, are you live with us?
I am here.
You got any video for us so we can see that pretty face of yours?
Pretty face.
Oh, look at that room. So Joe, tell us what you and Lucas are about to do here.
So we are super excited to be involved in this HuntLeague league. We're going to do a league for Colorado hunters. And we are going to offer what I do. I'm with White Mountain Skulls. I do Euro mounts. And obviously Lucas does the meat. We're going to do kind of a meat and bones league where the winner will get their game cut up and then they'll get a Euro mount. So super excited to partner with HuntLeague. We love you guys over there. The most exciting thing is just interfacing with the hunters, and you get crazy calls from guys saying, "Hey, I'm out in your driveway. I'm cutting the head off my deer." Jared.
Sorry about that, Joe. Sorry if I scared your neighbors.
Yeah, a little rude, but super awesome. So excited to be part of this. So yeah, thanks. Looking forward to it.
I'm pumped. So both of you guys played a big part in helping me process my deer this year. I was able to harvest a deer on the last day of season, but I had planned to shoot it on the first day. So I had scheduled a flight out the very next morning. I was like, man, I got to take this meat somewhere and I got to get this head taken care of. And so I raced over to the meat cleaver up in Denver. Joe, you're down in Monument. So the league you guys are putting together is for Colorado hunters. We're going to have a Colorado league that goes through this year. And the winner of that league next year in the fall of 2023, they're going to get their meat processed and a Euro mount done from your two shops. So congratulations on being the first two small business shops to create a league together. And I'm excited what that means for Colorado residents. We got somebody else on here. Will, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got coming up.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks for the introduction. And I'm brand new to the HuntLeague app. And my buddy Pete Mosby, who I've known through our church for probably about 10 years, he called me up last week and he's like, "Hey man, can I stop by sometime this week?" And he came over, sat down on the couch, and we had a beer, and he was telling me about this, and then talking to Jared, just really excited about what you guys have developed here. I'm on staff, full-time staff, a pastor at our church down here in Parker, Colorado, and part of my job is building community with different small groups. And hunter myself, grew up hunting with my dad, and really excited to use this as a tool. And this was really Pete's brainchild, knowing more about it. He said, man, I think we could build some community just around hunters in the Parker area and hunters at our church. And so we're going to build a league that'll be open to guys at our church. Again, I oversee our men's ministry at the church. So just another way to build community. I mean, especially coming out of the last couple of years, we know that guys are men and women, but especially men, really battling isolation. And I know a lot of guys go and hunt by themselves, which is great. I've always just seen, and we heard a lot of stories already tonight, just about the community, the camaraderie, the togetherness that hunting provides. And so I'm really excited to use this as a tool to build some community, to draw guys out of isolation and into community to connect around hunting. And so really excited about what you guys have developed with these leagues. And we're going to be planting a league with guys at our church and in the Parker area. So really looking forward to what this might bring in the next year.
Man, I'm so excited. Thank you, Will. You guys kind of get to be on the pilot side of this, but I can imagine seeing churches, conservation groups, all sorts of people using leagues as a way to bring and build community. I mean, we all know that like isolation, what we got to see in this past year, it can be devastating. And this has the ability to kind of bring hunters together and other people. So thanks for jumping in. I'm going to show a quick video, but it looks like our judges are actually ready. I'm going to just introduce a couple more leagues that we got coming up because we do have some exciting news. So pay attention to these leagues, and then we are going to announce our winner in just a few minutes.
Hey guys, this is Colby Moorhead, otherwise known as the Bear Tech with Bear Hunting Magazine. We're excited to partner with HuntLeague this next year and announce that we're going to have a league that we sponsor in May of this year. The winner of this league will be able to win a hunt for fall 2023 in Oregon. We're pretty excited about this. The hunt will be filmed, and they will have a feature article published inside of Bear Hunting Magazine. We see a lot of information and a lot of support with hunters inside of the HuntLeague app, and we're excited to partner inside of that. That's part of what we would say means guarding the gate, just supporting other hunters and the community overall. So 2023, it's going to be exciting. Have a good one, guys.
Hey guys, my name is Brady Neese. I'm the youth pastor at Woodlake Church in Bixby, Oklahoma. We are super excited to join HuntLeague this year. We're going to be opening up our own private league for all members of our church. We have both guys and girls, some families, and even some of our teenagers that are a major part of our hunting crew. And so we are going to join together and create our own league so that we can all follow along with one another, celebrate one another, and challenge one another to go hard this upcoming hunting season.
Hi, this is Matt with Hunting Grounds USA. I'd like to say a big congratulations to the HuntLeague winners, and I can't wait to send you some of our product. Here's looking forward to next season.
Hey guys, I'm JD Pyatt with Icotech Game Calls, manufacturers of electronic game calls for predators and many other species. We are excited about the future and joining up with HuntLeague and what's in store for everybody in 2022.
Hey, I'm Benjamin Gavin, owner of Spurb Tea and Coffee. We are a small business that focuses on high quality tea. I'm not just the owner of Spurb Tea though, I'm also an avid hunter, as you may recognize from the leaderboard, and love being a part of the HuntLeague community. In 2021, Superb sponsored the top female with a $75 gift card that can be used on any of our products. So I'm here to congratulate Case Holmgren, otherwise known as Go Racers 742, for winning the top female spot in our 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year competition. I would also like to announce Spurb will be back as a sponsor in the 2022 Outdoorsman of the Year League. If you are ever looking for high quality tea or coffee, go to superb.net and use this promo code HuntLeague to get free shipping on your next order. Good luck to all you finalists, especially Josiah. Know as your older brother, I'm rooting for you all the way.
All right, gentlemen, let's see. Do you guys have announced a winner? Is that what I'm understanding? Or I guess you haven't announced it yet, but you've come to a conclusion?
Correct.
Yes, Jared, we have come to a conclusion.
Okay,
you
give me
ready?
1 second because I want to bring in our finalists, see if they're all sitting in the waiting room. Let me see if I can start bringing them in because I am anxious. Now, here's the deal. This is going to be difficult for me. Let me tell you why it's difficult. Last year it wasn't near as difficult because I didn't really know the finalists very well. I didn't really have a relationship. But over the course of this year, we have all of these finalists that I've gotten to know. I actually met Wyatt. If anybody listened to the podcast, I met Wyatt on my elk hunt this past year. We were camped about 200 yards away from each other's secret spot that was so secret that we had bikes and everybody flying by us every morning and no elk in the area. But I met him on the last day of elk camp where we were both packing up our tents, and it was like, man, let's sit around the campfire, talk, laugh, and we had a blast. So I got to meet Wyatt. Josiah and I got to do a little hunt together up in Wisconsin. So I got to meet him, his brothers, his family, his mom and dad cooked me dinner. I mean, it's incredible. Like, these people are not just strangers anymore. Garrett and I have done podcasts and we've spent too much time on the phone, probably taking time away from his wife this year, more time than he ought to. And we're dreaming up really cool things for 2022 in the future. So there's some exciting stuff that we're already building towards. Crayson, I'm coming to you last, but it's like a lot of people know this because I sent an email out about this, but Crayson is actually responsible for the biggest turnaround in my season, where if anybody followed my season, I had a giant deer picked out. It's the first time I've ever been chasing a specific animal. I had target lock where nothing else even mattered. I could see other deers, but it didn't matter. I was on to one. Opening day, somebody else took that deer. And I'll tell you, it was just the biggest gut punch. And I didn't know how to recover. And I was going into the last weekend of the season and I hadn't shot a deer because every time I'd see one, I was like, that's not my deer. It's not the one I want to take. It was just frustrating. And I was bitter. I was angry. I was frustrated. And Crayson just said something simple in the HuntLeague app. He just messaged me and said, hey, man, just take what the Lord gives you. And I tell you what, I couldn't get that statement out of my head the whole time I went on that hunt. And it became one of those things where now every sunrise, it became a gift from God. I was like, man, this sunrise is for me. Every deer I saw became a gift from God, where it was like, this is walking by. And I was soaking in the beauty, the resentment, the bitterness, the frustration that I started to carry that season began to lift. And I don't mean to spend too much time on you, Grayson, but I was like, you had a huge impact on my season. So all of you guys are meaningful to me. And I'll tell you, I'm going to celebrate with one of you and cry with the others, because every one of you is a deserving finalist. And I'm kind of anxious to see. I don't even know what to expect here. So I'm going to turn this over to the judges. And judges, I don't know how you plan to either congratulate or let people down slowly. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's in your court now. Tell me what's going on. How are we ranking? I don't know if you're starting with the fourth place or I don't know. So who am I turning it over to? Let's go, judges.
Well, thanks, Jared, for stop talking. That was great.
Yeah.
I think Wyatt, Garrett, Grayson, and Josiah are ready to find out. Okay. So first of all, you guys, I just got to congratulate you again, just for being the finalists. All four of you deserve the trophy, the win, the title. However, only one of you will actually receive it. We had great discussion. It was very interesting what everyone saw from each of you. We all appreciated just you guys putting yourself out there, sharing your stories. And so what I want to start off first of all is we're going to have 3 runner-ups and we're going to have 1 champion, 1 Total Outdoorsman of the Year. All 4 of you, now the Total Outdoorsman of the Year, he is going to have a really nice prize package. All 4 of you are going to also receive a prize package that will be something from Phoenix Store, Velvet Antlers, Brave Experience Jerky, and Vortex. All 4 of the judges that are sponsoring they're all putting together a care package, a prize package for each one of you. So,
No way.
yes. Jared didn't know about this.
I didn't know about this.
So, through our gracious judges, we really appreciate all brought to the table. So every one of you are winners. But
man.
there are 3 runner-ups and there is 1 total outdoorsman of the year. I'm going to turn it over to AJ. Could you start us off, please, with one of our runner-ups?
You bet. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, Jared and guys, it was almost impossible. Like, it came down to the minute details, the terms. I mean, it was everything. It was the whole gamut. It wasn't just how many harvests. It wasn't any of that. So we felt obligated to do something for every single one of you, aside from what we were originally going to do. So with that being said, Josiah, congratulations on being a runner-up. Your passion and dedication at your age is unparalleled. It's unlike anyone I've ever seen. Don't ever lose that passion. Keep it up. And to me, one of the most important things that you do is you take and you mentor hunters. Don't ever lose that. I came from a family where I didn't have any hunters. It was just me. And I had a friend like you who introduced me to bird hunting when I was really young. And if it weren't for him and his dad, I wouldn't be doing this type of stuff like I am and building the company that we're building. So again, congratulations. You're deserving of everything that we're going to send your way. You did a hell of a year, hell of a season, and I can't wait to see what you do next year. You're young. You got a lot ahead of you.
Thanks. I can't believe it. I made this far. Honestly, I think you guys you might be making a mistake. I do think I had a really good year, but I have no clue I got this far. Thanks so much, everyone.
Way to go, Josiah.
Right. Well done.
Oh, man. That was hard. That was hard for me to listen to. I'm like, okay, because I'm vested in this. Hey, you can tell Benjamin that he actually won from the quick award thing. He put in #1. So let your brother know that that he's going to take home the custom broadhead. So make sure he knows that before he goes to bed.
That's a real bummer. See, I tried, but I have parental controls. So like I was just hitting the send button and the parental controls turned on. I was like, oh no.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn it over to Daniel.
All right. Our next runner up is Wyatt. Wyatt, man. Again, congratulations on a great year. It was cool hearing your stories. And I think what struck a chord with most of us judges is the same thing as like your passion for introducing others to the sport and hunting. You know, it's so cool. You spoke about the 3 young kids that you took out hunting, and, you know, we're all older and you look like a kid to us. And so it's like, it's just a cool thing to see somebody of your age taking the time. And you even spoke about, you realized this year that you get more out of introducing others to hunting than you do on your own hunts. And so that was just amazing to hear. So congratulations, well deserved, all of you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time for judging all of us.
All right, next,
Wyatt, you're the man.
Oh,
this one's tough. Somebody's about to announce something, and it's whatever gets announced here, it's a 2-way announcement. So who has the honors of doing the final real announcement?
Well, Jared, apparently it's me. I don't think I realized the intensity of this moment until you just said that. So I appreciate it. I mean, like AJ said, like Dan said, this is not been easy from day one when we got all the applicants or all your applications and reading through them. It's been very difficult. I mean, I was up longer than I thought I was going to be up the first night I got all those applications. So even bringing you guys in here, putting a face to the name, it makes it that much more difficult. And hearing your guys and hearing your emotion and all that stuff. So I see Josiah's freaking out on the bottom right now
too.
But for our next runner-up, Garrett Weaver, you're going to be our next runner-up. Dude, awesome season for the 2021.
Oh my God.
You know, I can't say enough about it, dude. Keep mentoring, keep getting out into the field, keep sharpening your tools, and keep hunting, buddy. Keep the spirit alive. So congratulations,
Thanks,
Garrett.
And congrats,
yeah, buddy.
Grayson.
Well done. Well done.
That's Grayson.
And I'll give it back to Pete.
Wow.
No one knows who the Outdoorsman of the Year is. I have to announce it.
Yeah.
Grayson, you did great.
I think it's just me left, Pete. So go ahead and say who.
Unbelievable.
Is it me or?
I get it. I was the 2020 Outdoorsman of the Year, and I can't tell you how proud I am that I get to be a part of this, be on the judging panel with these esteemed individuals, to hear all of your stories, every one of you. And Grayson, you truly deserve Outdoorsman of the Year title for 2021.
Dude, oh my goodness.
Good job,
Thank you
man.
guys. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
You okay, Jared?
I'm going to share a couple things, Grayson. Some of the words I'm going to be sharing, you could find that in every one of you. You brought the whole package. Conservation, mentorship, passion that we could see from the heart, selfish, humble. Your story about your wife, like that is like the one thing that you would want to change for your season. That touched all of us. And then with your podcast, when you made that comparison, if you can, practicing hunting coyotes prepares you for any other animal. When I heard that and listened to what you were saying, I was thinking, wow, that is so insightful. And as hunters, we are always learning. I am always learning. I am 55 years old tomorrow, and I learned something from your podcast. I know I look a lot younger, but hey. So Grayson, congratulations. Garrett, Wyatt, Josiah, thank you for sharing the knowledge. I learned something from each and every one of you. All of us look forward to seeing these incredible posts that you're going to do next year. And I think we're going to have some amazing video. And we'll see what next year brings, because I'm bringing my A game, because I won't be on the judge panel next year. So
Grayson, welcome officially to the 2022 judges panel.
Oh man, dude.
I can't believe it.
Oh man, this is crazy. Oh, thank you guys.
The dog's
so
even
much.
happy for you.
Oh, thanks, man. But seriously, like, to see all these, guys in the hunting industry, and just, I look up to you guys all so much, because that's where I want to be, and the passion, where it's led to a career. It's just so like awesome. And I was pretty starstruck just to see Garrett, because I listen to his podcast all the time on my way to work or on my lawnmower, for goodness sake. And just to see you guys like interacting with me and saying my name is just like so unreal for me, because I have so much passion for for hunting. And it's just like, to be at this level, to be talking to all of you guys, it's just, I can't believe it. So thank you so much, Garrett, everybody. Jared, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, man. Well deserved for all of you.
What are you going to get, Grayson?
I don't know yet. I didn't want to jinx myself.
Okay, Grayson, now that we're on the other side of this, I feel like, how do you not have that selected? I feel like every one of you guys as finalists had something from Vortex that you were like I could ask Josiah and say, Josiah, what did you have? Garrett, what did you have? Why? How are you sitting back there going like, you knew that you were one of the few finalists? So give us one or two things you're at least looking at with Vortex, because this is like the award of like what I wouldn't do to win that award. I'm like, oh my gosh, to have the item of your choice from Vortex Optics, you got to be kidding.
No kidding. Well, I'm still rocking the Crossfire 2 scope, on my 22-250 and getting it done. It's great, man.
You're gonna have to upgrade that, Grayson.
Yeah. It's getting the job done, But seriously, I didn't want to jinx myself. I didn't even really want to be like, but no, I've heard about the new scope. So obviously
you've heard about the new one.
Yeah, it was going through the HuntLeague community stuff. So I was like, I'll take a look, but I didn't want to jinx myself too much. So
I love it.
The new gen.
Okay, Grayson, I need an honest question or honest answer.
Okay.
Did you feel like you were going to win this?
honestly, I didn't. My wife is like, you got this in the bag. And I'm like, honey, no, but you just never know. I mean, Garrett is just a big game guy this year. I mean, he completely, and then Josiah has that, maturity for his age, and his photography has gone to the next. I mean, I'm already like, how do you do that, man? And he's got a passion for the outdoors. And Wyatt, it's just like, I almost was like, I don't even want to know what Wyatt's doing, because it's already like almost making me jealous, just seeing his whitetail, his big boar. I mean, that's my dream, is to kill a bear. I've been wanting to kill a bear my whole life. And that's the one thing on the general here in Oregon I haven't fulfilled. So just all of them was just like, man, I don't know. I knew it was going to be hard on all of you to do this. And for us to be 4 in the finalists to begin with was already just like, oh man. So I didn't know, but I was really hoping I'd be in the top 2. And here I am sitting number 1, and crazy. I'm going to sleep so good tonight.
Oh man.
No, you're not. You're not going to sleep at all.
Yeah, you're going to be cruising the catalog tonight. Man, guys, this is incredible. I can't even begin to tell you how much this means to me to have all of you as judges. I mean, even just coming back from the judges panel and saying, man, this was a tough decision. I know you guys put a lot of thought into this. This wasn't a casual decision. And I also know it's an impossible decision. Like, what an incredibly difficult decision this would be. And so thank you for doing something so difficult that, like, I would not work as a judge. Like, it wouldn't work for me to choose one of these guys, because it's like I feel like you make one, it's impossible. So thank you, judges, for jumping in and doing this, and then also just adding the additional support, saying, hey, we're gonna throw a little something extra. We already had 4 finalists instead of 3, so it was already confusing. Like, how are we going to do the prizes? But all of you companies and people stepping in, I mean, I know it means a lot to everybody here, but I can't say enough about each of the finalists. And Crayson, you get to wear the crown.
Oh man.
I mean, you are the 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. That's a title that you get to wear the rest of your life. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Oh man.
Well deserved. Okay, well, guys, the chats are going to continue, but the live stream, we are way over time. So we're going to let people in Wisconsin go to bed because it's already pushing midnight. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us, for participating in this. Crayson McBride, HuntLeague's 2021 Outdoorsman of the Year. Every one of us looks at you and said, man, you put together a great season. You're deserving. Thank you for participating with us, being a part of this community. And you get to wear the crown, my friend. That's something that nobody will ever be able to take away from you the rest of your life. So congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Seriously.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
it. All right. Signing off. Thank you for everybody tuning in with us.
All right.
See you guys.